Hi, my name is Jeff Tolley, and I am the Speech-Language Pathology Program Advisor here at Rocky Mountain University. Tonight, I want to dive further into the program and get your questions answered. Later, we're going to talk to students and get an overall view of what it's like to be here at Rocky Mountain University and what it's like to be a part of our Master's in Speech-Language Pathology program. Let's go take a look.
The field of speech-language pathology is actually one of the most touching fields that I can think of to work in. You are helping individuals find their voice, find their way to communicate, and be able to sometimes even communicate their deepest feelings. Our students come from all over the country, and they spend 6 semesters here at Rocky Mountain University. The graduates of our Master's Speech-Language Pathology program will be prepared to work in any situation, but you'll be especially comfortable in medical settings. All of your colleagues are graduate students in healthcare professions. So day to day, you're working with physician assistant graduate students, with doctor of physical therapy graduate students, with nurse practitioner students. You get to practice your ability to communicate with these professionals every day. Our faculty is one of the most collegial group of individuals I have ever worked with.
We learn about them, they learn about us, and we work together for them to accomplish the things they need to do to become competent professionals.
My colleagues are just awesome. We have a lot of fun. We do laugh during the day as well as work really hard.
We care about every aspect of you as a student. We care about your spirit, we care about your academics, and we care about your overall ability to provide the best health care that you can as a professional.
We demand a lot of our students, and we demand a lot of ourselves. But we have a good time doing it. Teaching them becomes a real relationship as well.
We have the equipment to do video stroboscopy, and we have the equipment to do swallowing evaluations. The students in our program, each one of them will have intimate experience with passing the rigid scopes, the flexible scopes, capturing the views of the vocal cords, of the swallowing mechanism.
Some students get their experience with endoscopy and video stroboscopy through textbooks. Our students actually get hands-on experience where they are the practitioners using the equipment. One of the amazing things about our community clinic is that it's a pro bono clinic, so we do not have to charge individuals who are underserved, underrepresented, or underinsured. We have assembled some of the most gifted and talented clinicians and researchers here at Rocky Mountain University.
When our students graduate, they will be able to work competently in any environment that they choose.
It really does feel like a family. I know that sounds a little bit corny, but it really does. We really feel from the president on down that you can talk to anybody and that they all have your back.
Right from the admission process, I think you're going to find a difference here at Rocky Mountain University. It is not uncommon for me to talk with applicants and get an idea of what they want and what they're looking for. When you come to Rocky Mountain, you as the student really are the thing. It's all about you as the master's student. We hope you'll come by for a visit. We hope you'll call, email, come in for an open house, and see for yourself firsthand the family that we create here.
All right, welcome back. Before we get talking with students, I just wanted to touch on a few program specifics and some information that I think you ought to know about our Master's of Science in Speech-Language Pathology program. To start, as you can see, this program has a medical emphasis. This program prepares graduates as medical speech-language pathologists and prepares them to work in settings such as hospitals, clinics, acute rehab facilities, as well as training you in the school-based system as well. Our students are prepared to work in medical settings, and they're prepared to assess, diagnose, treat, prevent all sorts of communication language disorders. We have one cohort per year, and it starts in the fall. That cohort has 35 students, but what's awesome is each of those 35 students is assigned a faculty mentor. All faculty are open door policy and able to talk with, but you specifically are assigned one faculty to watch over you through the entirety of the program. Here's a brief snapshot of what the program looks like. Our Masters of Speech-Language Pathology program is a 24-month, full-time residential program that includes a mixture of traditional lecture lab as well as some online learning as well. This program includes 6 semesters of classroom and clinical experiences in preparation for practice in medical settings. And you're going to hear from our students as to how early they have gotten involved with real patients, hands-on exposure. Deadlines can be tricky, so I encourage you to schedule a time and talk with me. I'll tell you how to schedule a time in just a second. Our deadline is typically around April. This next year is April 1st. However, we are rolling admissions, so essentially we start the process before that deadline is up. We don't wait for that deadline to start the process. So if you're interested in knowing exactly when to submit the application, again, connect with me. We can set up a perfect timeline for application submission. I did want to touch on some program highlights, and the students are going to expound on them in a little bit. As you can see, we have a bridge to an SLPD program. This is also our doctoral SLP degree that we offer here at Rocky Mountain University, and it's an easy transition once you complete the master's degree to just continue on with your doctorate. As I mentioned, one of the biggest highlights that we have is the medical emphasis. We've touched on that. Not only are you going to be trained in the school-based SLP system, but you're going to be trained so much in the medical settings that it's going to make you a very competitive and marketable SLP. Our students are going to touch on our on-site pro bono clinic as well as our clinical service opportunity to Africa. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that, but if you do have questions on those, please reach out to me and I can expand a little bit further. But essentially, those are opportunities that we give to serve our communities. The pro bono clinic is literally on site, and it gives students an opportunity to get exposed to real life patients. Our Africa trip is an Africa trip every year that a lot of students take. It is voluntary, it is not mandatory or required. So essentially it is a service trip that is about 2.5 weeks long, and students spend their time in the clinics and the hospitals down there, doing a lot of SLP treatment. Profession of speech-language pathology is very underknown and underdeveloped down in Africa, so this is our way of serving those people that need treatment. Now, I know I didn't give you a ton of information, but I did want to stress, schedule a time and talk with me. If you go to our website, rm.edu, this Meet With Us box will pop up as you're searching through pages. And I encourage you to schedule a time to chat with me, and we can talk about timelines and application submissions and how to make the best application that you can. Now, let's turn our time over to some students, and we have some questions prepared for them. After that, we'd love to have you schedule a time to chat with me. Now, let's go talk to the students. Now we're here with a few of our MS SLP students who are going to be here to answer some of your questions. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, their name, where they're from, and where they went to for undergrad school. So then we're going to jump into the questions, and hopefully you get all of them answered today. Okay?
Awesome. I'm Emma. I'm from North Carolina, and I did my undergrad at Utah State University.
Hello, I'm Carrie. I am from New Jersey, and I did my undergrad at Montclair State University.
And I'm Ashley. I'm from Illinois, and I did my undergrad at University of Iowa.
Awesome. Thanks for being here tonight, guys. We're excited to learn a little bit more about the program through you guys. So let's just jump right into it. One of the first things that people notice about our program is the medical emphasis. So I kind of want to ask a few of you, what specific benefits do you get from being in a program with a medical emphasis and that you might not get at other universities?
So specifically here at Rocky Mountain University, we have a cadaver lab. We have special classes aimed for the medical emphasis. For example, we have a specific trach and vent class, which a lot of other universities don't have. And so just having those specific emphasis within all of our classes, and especially those special experiences within those classes is just so amazing that a lot of other schools are probably a lot more educationally heavy, and we kind of get a broad variety of that.
Yeah, kind of going off of what Emma had said is that we do get these special experiences. So we do something called a simulation lab where we get to go inside a hospital here inside Provo, and we get to experience what it's like being in a hospital room, which some of us may not have. I know I'd never been in a hospital before that experience. So it's really cool getting to use what we learn in the classroom and actually bring it into a real life hospital setting. And I didn't really have any medical experience with my undergraduate program. It was more education heavy, like Emma also mentioned. So just getting a whole different side of the speech-language pathology program is pretty cool.
That's awesome. Speaking of experiences, I know we have a pro bono clinic on campus. Will a few of you talk about your experience with that and how early you've been able to get involved in that?
Yeah, they jump you right in. So we literally had orientation, and then by week 2, we were all assigned at least one client, some more than others. And so it's a little nerve-wracking, to be honest, but honestly, it's such an experience, and what better way to learn than to just do it. And what's so cool about having our clinic literally in our building, it's you have your classroom, you learn everything you're supposed to do, and you walk across the hall and you apply it. Like, what better way to learn?
Another thing I want to touch on is definitely that we also get placement outside of school. So, it allows us to get a change of scenery, but also to serve the community at the same time. So it's really awesome.
Yeah. Kind of going off of that a little bit, I know at the end of the program you are involved in some internships. Can a few of you speak to that, and how do you set that up, and where can they be? Are they all local, or?
Yeah, definitely. So it kind of happens in your second year of being in the program. You get to do what are called externships, and you get to go outside of the clinic into different areas within the community here, as well as in different states even. So your first 2 semesters, you're working more kind of locally, and you typically have to do a school and a medical setting placement. And then your final semester, which is the last summer before you graduate, you get to do your final externship where you can go wherever you want in the United States. Someone in the cohort above us is going to Alaska, someone's going to Colorado, and you get to work with the faculty pretty early on within the first year, and kind of they get an idea of where you want to be state-wise, but also what type of setting you want to be in. So I know I've already expressed that I want to be in a certain type of hospital to our supervisors, and they take that into consideration when planning for your final semester.
That's awesome. It sounds like some good experiences at the end of the program. Mm-hmm. Let's kind of change pace a little bit and talk about Utah, or Provo as a whole. So see a lot of smiles going on. So will a few of you talk about like the experiences you have had here from being out of state?
Sure. So I'm from New Jersey, and coming all the way here to Utah, it was a big adjustment. Just kind of being away from my family for the first time. But honestly, there's a lot of nature around here, so there's a lot of hiking that can be done, and just making friends and socializing. Like, I know I've been out with a couple groups of friends, and exploring. That's the biggest thing, keeping yourself busy so you don't get absorbed by the sadness or the homesickness.
Yeah, definitely. And the tightness of our cohort and like how close we are as almost like a family definitely helps with that homesickness. We spend a lot of time with each other each week, so you get really close to each other right from the start. So that definitely helps not forget about the homesickness, but kind of push it to the back of your mind, because you do have a family, a home away from home here. And kind of just going off what Carrie said, I had never seen mountains before moving here, and I had never been to this coast. So going on all the hikes and getting to go skiing once ski season starts is really awesome. And then there's also other cities around here. So even though Provo is like a smaller city, there's also Salt Lake, which isn't too far away, that always has different festivals, concerts, stuff going on. And then we also have Park City. So both of those are within driving distance, where you can find fun things to do on the weekend as well. That's
awesome. A lot of students find out or have questions about our Africa trip that we go on every year. So I know you are all in your first semester and you haven't gone to Africa, but a few of you have expressed some interest in going. So will you kind of tell us a little bit as to what that trip involves and why we do it?
Yeah, definitely. So the Africa trip is actually one of the reasons why I applied to RMU, because I didn't have the chance to study abroad while I was in my undergrad, and not many graduate programs offer this sort of service opportunity. So it was really, really big interest to me. And basically, you get to go to Africa for about 2 weeks, I think, and you get to work with other professionals within the university. So you're working with the PT students, the PA students, the faculty here, and you're working in the hospitals and clinics in this town in Africa, and you get to help a underserved population. The field of speech pathology doesn't really exist yet in Africa, so you're getting to bring your knowledge from here and help them and start helping build that program there.
Awesome. Yeah. Anything else with that, or no? Okay. Awesome. So just kind of, as a prospective student, there's a lot that they have to think about in getting their applications ready. You guys made it. You made it into the program. We did it. Good job.
Thank you.
So what is one piece of advice that you would give someone looking into Rocky Mountain, or just in order to stand out in their application?
So one thing unique about Rocky Mountain is that we actually have an interview process as well. So you submit your application, and everybody knows you need to do well in classes and try your best on the GRE, but specifically to Rocky Mountain, our professors will interview you, and it's usually just one-on-one phone call, and they ask you just like, what are your interests, and they just want to know who you are. Because to me, just being true to yourself is the most important thing, because you don't want to go to a program where you don't fit in and maybe you're not part, or you don't have the same interests as them. So like being honest and being true to yourself to them will definitely attract them to you. And then also you'll feel more comfortable, because I definitely feel like a family here because of that experience I had of my interview. It felt so comfortable and so easy talking to them.
Yeah, finding the right fit, huh?
Exactly.
And as for what you can do to make yourself stand out, is I would try to highlight your experiences as much as you can and try to get those experiences as you're preparing to apply for this program. So any experience, whether it be volunteering or working with the populations you'll be working at as a speech-language pathologist, will be extremely helpful to you. So that could be geriatrics, kids, autism spectrum disorders. Use that experience you have and apply it to how it'll help you in this program and at this school.
That's awesome. Kind of going back into the program a little bit. So you guys are about a month and a half into your first semester. How's it been? What does the typical week look like for you students? Kind of give us a rundown as to what should these potential applicants expect coming into this program.
Yeah, of course. So I don't want to sugarcoat it at all. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work, just like any graduate program will be. Wherever you choose to go, it's going to be a lot of hard work. Typically, I spend about every single day, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday at the clinic, and just for classes and prepping for clinic and doing my different clients and stuff. But I also do get some breaks in there. So when I'm not in class, I'll take a break for lunch and go out, and then I'll also do some study time there. So it's not all constantly doing things. But typically you'll have clients you have to prep for during the week. You'll have a group setting with clients to prep for, and then you've just got your everyday classes that you have to do.
I think my biggest advice on grad school is just prioritizing your time, because that way, like for me personally, my weekends are usually my weekends, and I appreciate that. I try to get as much work done as I can Monday through Friday. It really is like a full-time job, but totally worth it in the end.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's doable, especially when you have a group, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to address the accreditation question that most people have. The way accreditation works is there's full accreditation and then there's candidacy for accreditation. To the student, there really is no difference. It's all ASHA recognized. You get all the privileges as if it was a fully accredited program. It's just newer programs are given a 5-year period where they are then reevaluated and bumped up to the next level. We are in year 4, and but as a student, you still get the privileges of taking your praxis exams and getting your licensure as if it was a fully accredited institution. I know a lot of people have questions with that, so it's something I wanted to clarify. There's no differences essentially to the student. So the last question that I have, I kind of just want to, it'll wrap it all up. Maybe the most important question, is, and I want to hear from all of you. Why Rocky Mountain University? Why did you come here? And what have you enjoyed?
For me, I kind of had a unique experience doing my undergrad here at Utah State. So I got to kind of interact with the professors before even coming here. But I could just advocate that they're such great people and they truly care about you. When I was looking into different schools, I wanted to feel like I was needed, that my ideas were worth listening to, and that something was going to be done about them. And that would add to my educational experience. So 100% these professors are so about the students and your experiences and making sure you succeed. That was a huge thing for me.
I'd have to say just the fact that you get so well-rounded being in this program. You have all these different types of experiences, externships, internships. So, it's good for your resume. It's good for when you interview, and it's good for when you're out in the field because, like I said, you're going to be well-rounded.
We kind of already touched on this, but mine was the medical emphasis. It's a really unique aspect that most speech programs don't have when you're looking at graduate schools. And I knew going into it when I was applying that I didn't really want to work in schools. So a medical emphasis was a huge attraction to me because I knew that I could get the experience that I would need to work in a hospital or wherever I choose to someday. And yeah, it was super unique because I haven't seen any schools that at least that I applied to that had this special medical emphasis.
That's awesome. I really love that there's a lot of differences in your guys' answers, and it all brought you here, so that's awesome. Well, I know you didn't get all of your questions answered tonight, and so I definitely want to encourage you to connect with me. I am, again, the SLP advisor, and I can answer any admissions-related questions, program-related questions. If you're local, you can come in. We can show you around. But if you visit our website at rm.edu, there will be a box at the bottom of the page that'll say meet with us. And you can schedule a time to chat with me either over the phone, via Skype, or if you are local, come in on purpose. I really want you to come and talk to me so that we can get you all the answers that you didn't get tonight. And I want to thank you guys for coming and using your time to help us answer questions. It's an awesome opportunity to kind of learn more about the program that you don't necessarily get to see. We know you're applying from all over the nation. So we want to thank you for tuning in, and thank you guys for joining us today. And hopefully you got a good chunk of your questions answered today. But we look forward to hearing from you and hope to see your application come in. Thanks. Good night.